Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Blaze Black 2. Past 4 episodes, we have been catching a lot of Pokemon. I think we made out with 58 new ones. Plus a rather shiny one, if I may say so myself. And this time, we are going to be progressing on our adventure, but not before we take care of a little bit of unfinished business. Now that we have Surf, and Waterfall, and it's autumn, we can finally explore the last remaining little bit of Route 20. So we are going to be doing that. I'm going to be flying right over to Route 20 to cover that little bit of content, so I'll meet you guys right over there. I gotta say, Route 20 is like the completionist's nightmare because you have to come back here a jillion times to get a hold of everything that you want to get a hold of. But anyway, as we come over here, I'm just going to be going through the motions here because it's nothing too terribly special, just a trainer and a couple items. But I did promise that I would be talking about a certain new Pokemon game that was announced today. Not today, a few weeks ago actually. That being Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Now, I'll be honest, I'm sure everyone is familiar with the fact that the trademark for these games leaked a day before the Pokemon Direct. And I'll be perfectly honest, prior to that happening, I wasn't totally sold on the idea of leaping straight to Generation 7. But it looks like that's what they're doing, and yes, I do think Sun and Moon are Generation 7. I also think that anyone who is in denial about it being Generation 7 really needs to have Junichi Masuda come down to their house and scream it in their ear. Because, like, it's Gen 7, I don't know how you could try and construe it maybe being part of Generation 6, but we got new region, new Pokemon, new languages in the game, and of course the fact that you can only transfer Pokemon up to Sun and Moon from previous games. No mentions about trading whatsoever, so it's looking like it's 7th generation, guys. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we didn't get any sort of follow-up to the Kalos region whatsoever. But I'll be honest, I feel like Generation 6 was sort of, I don't want to say marred by, but I guess one aspect of Generation 6 is that, like, how do I put this? I feel like they focused more on the graphics in Generation 6 than everything else, because I felt like that the story, and especially the post-game content in Generation 6, was quite subpar compared to what we had seen in Generation 5, which is the main reason I feel like Generation 5 is probably the better generation. Which is really odd for me, because I feel like every even-numbered generation has been better than the odd-numbered generation immediately prior to it, except for this instance. So I'm hoping that by jumping to Generation 7, we're going to get a lot of big improvements since they already have a lot of the 3D work done, and probably want to focus more on the gameplay this time around. But anyway, now that we have covered Route 20, yes, that is literally all I wanted to come back here to get, we want to head over to Undella Town. Because, as you might remember from episode 88, I want to say it was, we got a phone call from Hughes saying that there was a marine tube in town that would allow us to progress on our adventure. And that's what we are going to do. Heading right in this building, if you tried to come here prior to the attack of Team Plasma on Opelucid City, you would not have been able to pass because this guy would have been doing some janitorial work. The marine tube. It's an undersea tunnel, so to speak. Do you know how such tunnels are made? It's quite simple. They're built on land and then sunk into the sea. Without Pokemon, the construction would have been impossible. Which is funny, because I'm pretty sure that's how they do it in real life. Anyway, right over here, we have a little sign explaining the marine tube. This marine tube is also known as a walk-through aquarium, meaning you could see Pokemon living in the ocean as you walk. In the morning, You can observe mantines swimming elegantly. As the evening passes, you'll see frillish floating mysteriously. Very cool stuff. I really like this idea for an area in the game, and it gets even better when we walk right through this door. I love this area. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the music. It's great. This is what the undersea world looks like. I've never seen this before because I can't swim. I've given up on seeing this. I'm so moved. One thing that is worth noting as we pass through here is that you can earn a medal if you happen to catch a glimpse of a whale lord outside of the marine tube. Highly rare event, so take it in if you get to see one. Rain Dance is a move to use with a feeling of yearning. As for when to use it, oh, what's wrong with me? I can't think of any gripping ideas. With a condition like this, I can't explain well on TV. Anyway, heading right on through here, this is something I don't like about Generation 5. This snapping camera thing. I feel like that the game really would have benefited from having the camera pan in situations like this, but maybe I guess it was too technologically challenging. Anyway, as you can see right here, we've got this huge trench right below our feet. This must be a crazy view in real life if a tunnel like this happens to exist that goes over a trench this deep. I'm sure one does. Oh wow, it actually changes the sky tint when it changes the time down here. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, someone in here gives us an item. That's right, it's deep. Love is infinitely deep. Okay, buddy. Wow, it's an ocean trench. So deep. Maybe 6 miles deep? There are jokes to be made. I will refrain from making them. Anyway, heading over here, are you the person that gives us free stuff? Does your Pokemon have a poison barb? Aha, this person right here. I think if we show this person a Pokemon that is holding a poison barb, we actually get something. Let's see if I can find my poison barb. Cursory look over in my bag tells me I actually don't have one, so we're gonna have to come back here when we do have one later on in our adventure. This place is like a walk-through aquarium, but isn't this a place for Pokemon to see us? Ah, the role reversal. I like it. Anyway, heading right in here, we are now at the other side of the marine tube. And with that, we get even more information. The marine tube is an undersea tunnel built to commemorate the friendship between Undella Town and Humilau City. It is made of hardened glass 9.8 inches thick, which can withstand high water pressure and contact with huge Pokémon. The marine tube was built using the best technology in Unova. Please walk through and contemplate the underwater scenery. As we just have, very nice. Now, I know someone in here gives us something. My parasol is full of TMs. Would you like one? And we get TM42 Facade, very nice. No, it is not Facade, it is in fact Facade. It's just spelled like Facade due to font limitations. Facade, Facade, when the user's poisoned, paralyzed, or burned, its attack power doubles. Don't feel too bad though, because I mispronounced it for ages when I was younger. And with that, we are in Humilau City. Very nice. We'll get the DNA splicers back for sure, so you should focus on defeating the gym leader first. Indeed, yes. We have a little face board right here. Very cute. This city is pretty interesting because when you get here, there's really not much to do besides explore the city for a little bit and then just go challenge the gym immediately. So what we are going to be doing in this episode is we are going to be exploring the city. So let's see, heading right up here. Weehaw! Sup, you must be here to challenge the Pokemon gym. I'm the gym leader, Marlin. Sorry to make you look for me, yo. I was swimming with the Pokemon and it felt real good, so I kept going and going. I'll be waiting in the gym, 'kay? This guy is pretty interesting. Anyway, right over here we actually have a swimmer. I'm pretty sure she doesn't battle us, but she might have something interesting to say. When I float between the waves like this, I'm like a mermaid. Now that I think of it, there was a tomboyish mermaid gym leader in Kanto. Clear reference to Misty, which is pretty interesting. And I think we want to pull up our dowsing machine around here, because I think there is some free stuff around here on the beaches. Aha! Here we have a shell bell, which is very nice. And if we surf back across this way, we have probably the coolest feature of this town, and that's the fact that all of the residents live in these huts suspended on the water, which I think is really cool. Right up here, we have... aha, heart scale, very nice. And we have yet another swimmer. Let's see, does she have anything interesting to say to us? Do you know about Seaside Cave? If you use the HM Surf to go down Route 21, you'll find the cave there. If you go through it, you'll reach Undella Town. That is a cave that we are familiar with, considering we had access to a whopping 6 whole tiles of it before we came here to Humilau City, but hopefully approaching it from the north will yield better results. Right over here, we have a Mystic Water, which is very nice. That's interesting, that's not actually on my list. That might have actually been a change from the original game. This dress is comfy and easy to wear. Haha. I'm sure everyone is familiar with that reference. Alrighty. Now, there is this house, I think. Right here. The flat part of Stunfisk is very charming, isn't it? If you sleep on Stunfisk, its electricity relaxes the body. Now, this house is pretty interesting. First off, I want to point out that you can actually see the water through the floor here, which I think is an awesome aesthetic detail. But we actually want to go and get our love disc out of the PC and show it to that lady right there. So I'm going to go grab it and be right back. Alrighty, here we are back on this house. Now, let's see. We want to put it in the front of our party, I think. No? Really? My list is lying to me. Ah, well. Okay, so we better not get into any fights, because otherwise that love disc is going to have a very hard time. Anyway, coming back out this way, there is another item on the ground right there. Protein. Very nice. Now, there is another house, which I think is this one? Aha, here we go. We want to talk to this woman right here. Hey you, would you walk with my dear Mienfu? Sure. Oh my, you're very understanding. Wonderful, please walk a lot with my cute Mienfu. But please don't go out of this house. It's dangerous outside. Alright, take good care of my Mienfu. See guys, following Pokemon is in this game, just with this one Pokemon in this one spot. The steps of the Mienfu walking with David are somewhat clumsy. And you can actually run around with it also. Oops. D-pad being a derp. Hey, you! What are you doing? I can understand very well that my Mienfu is so cute that you want to take it out, but you can't do that. It's dangerous outside. Will you take responsibility if my Mienfu gets hurt? Please walk inside the room. Sheesh, lady. Now, I'm not entirely sure how long we have to do this, but if we do it for a while, we will actually get something. Let's see. How long is this going to take? I suppose I could talk about Sun and Moon a little bit more. I'm legitimately excited for this game because if you think about it, Black and White following up Diamond and Pearl were a pretty serious technical leap, even though they were on the same hardware. And considering X and Y, and to a lesser extent Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, would have a little bit of trouble running, especially when the 3D is on or when you're in a double or triple battle, I'm really hoping that the leap to Generation 7 will herald an engine upgrade that will make the game run a lot smoother. Plus, I feel like the generational jump will also allow them to clean up any UI elements that were a little bit clunky, and I really hope they do, because sometimes there were things in the games that would take a long time to execute. like doing things in menus or even trying to surf or fly. Especially flying. Flying took forever because they had this animation that would play, especially with soaring in the Hoenn remake, so I really hope they fix that up a little bit. Now, how long do we have to run around with this thing? Like, a lot of people are upset that Kalos never got a proper follow-up, but I'm more excited about the possibilities that Sun and Moon are going to bring, being the next generation. But it really does cement the fact that Generation 6 is probably my least favorite generation so far. Which is really sad because I feel like the hype season for this game was crazy just because it was 3D Pokémon for the first time. But I feel like Generation 6 had a big shortcoming in post-game content compared to Black and White 2, and also I feel like they tried to go in a little bit too hard on the backstory plot elements, because the whole Mega Evolution thing and the parallel universes thing, I feel like it was all just a little bit too much for a Pokemon game. I feel like they bit off a bit more than they could chew. So I'm really hoping they take Junichi Masuda's interview from way back when that game first came out to heart, and return to a bit more simplicity, because I feel like Black and White's story was simple but powerful, and X and Y just tried to copy that a little bit, and sort of, I don't want to say it fell completely flat on its face, but I felt like the game sort of struggled to figure out what to do with itself once you wrapped up the Mega Evolution storyline. So I'm really hoping they can bring out a really awesome quality product this year for the 20th anniversary. Am I done walking yet? Oh my cute Mienfoo looks very tough now. Thank you very much for walking my Mienfoo. I'll give this to you as a token of my appreciation. And we get a pearl, which is very nice. Please walk my cute Mienfoo again. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know if you can do this multiple times. Bulbapedia says you can't. So we'll just have to do a bit of research about that. Out this way is Route 22, which is one of my favorite route themes in the series, but we're not going to be going that way quite yet, because we're not quite done in Humilau City. There's one house around here that has a roughneck in it, and I'm very tempted. I'm going to fish in this dark spot, because Humilau City also has Wild Starmie, which I think can be encountered in this way, so I'm going to try it. Oh crap. Bye, Love Disc. Wow, it actually took that. Can we actually run? No. Well, I'm sorry, Love Disc, but you're probably the most unloved Pokemon in this entire Let's Play. Alright. So that didn't work out too great. There is a house somewhere around here that has a roughneck in it, who will offer an in-game trade, but I'm not actually interested in that. I'm interested in what's in his trash can, because it's actually quite a good item. So let's see if we can find this house. I don't actually know which one it is. Aha, it's this one, I think. In the trash, you get a full restore, which is absolutely awesome. Anyone checking around online will find that you can also find a revive in town, but it's actually part of a really small in-game side quest that doesn't trigger until after you have completed the main story. So we're not going to be talking about that one. But anyway, I think that is absolutely everything I wanted to cover in Humilau City. Actually, no, wait, there is one more little teeny tiny thing that I want to talk about. And that is this guy, this Ace Trainer. Anyone familiar with Blaze Black 2 and Volt White 2 will recognize the importance of this guy. I also recognize the importance of this guy. However, we're not going to be doing this quite yet. We're going to be saving all of that for a later point. So anyway, I'm going to head into the box right here, and we are going to be swapping out that Love Disc, which unfortunately got sent out basically to be laser beamed by that Shelder. There we go, and I think I also want to swap these positions, right? Well, actually no, because Magnezone actually has a type advantage against the resident gym leader, which is very, very nice. It's also pretty interesting, because I think this is the only instance of a region having two gyms of the same type. Not in the same game, mind you, but two gyms of the same type, which I think is pretty interesting. But anyway, with that, I think that is everything we are going to be doing for this episode. We explored a little bit of Route 20, and we also came here through the marine tube to Humilau City and did quite a bit of exploring and got quite a few items. And next time on Pokemon Blaze Black 2, we are not going to be wasting any time. We are going to be taking on the final gym of our adventure. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.